Hey there, I'm Heather, mom of 4, soon to be 5, and welcome to my channel, a place where I share all about ways to simplify motherhood so that you can feel less alone, less overwhelmed, and more confident in your mothering role. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite motherhood topics, and it's something that's not really talked about all that much, and that is postpartum. Having a new baby is so exciting. You get to spend all this time thinking about what gender you're going to have, how you can decorate the nursery, what to put on your registry, and even ways to prepare for the birth of your baby. But oftentimes we don't think about what happens after the baby, how we're going to handle that. And that is postpartum. And postpartum can be really, really challenging, especially if you don't know what to expect and if you're not prepared for it. So today I want to share with you a few things that I've learned over the years, over the past 13 years with 4 babies, and how that you can handle and how you can prepare for the best postpartum period ever. So no matter if you're expecting your first baby, your 3rd baby, your 10th baby, whatever it is, if you don't feel ready and confident about handling your postpartum, then this video is going to help you, I hope. So let's dive right in. So before we begin, I just want to say that every woman is different, every baby is different, every birth is different, every pregnancy is different. So one thing that I really want you to keep in mind when preparing for your postpartum is that your journey might not look like your friend's journey or your sister's or your mom's or even a previous postpartum experience. What you need to keep in mind is that every time that you have a baby, it's going to be different. So knowing that in advance is going to really help set you up for even better success. But the biggest thing, the most important thing that you can do for yourself is to prepare. And that's what you're doing right now. And that's what we're going to cover, is how to prepare for the best postpartum experience for you. So the first thing that you should do to prepare for a great postpartum experience is to expect it to be bad. Expect the unexpected. One of my favorite things that my husband says, and he says it like a broken record, is prepare for the worst but hope for the best, because anything can happen in postpartum. And if you are prepared for every little thing, every little bump in the road that can happen, it's going to help serve you better because you're already aware of it. You already know what to do if it happens, and that way you can take care of yourself better. First and foremost, expect to be in pain. You just gave birth to a baby. You just nourished a baby in your womb for 9 months. That's an amazing thing. Birth is, I'm going to just say, traumatic. I mean, it's traumatic on your body. It's a very big thing. So it's not something that you just go and do and then you hop back to it the next day. It's a process. Your body is going through a lot of changes, a lot of hormonal changes. It has a huge wound in it. This is about the size of the wound that's in your uterus after you give birth to a baby. That's pretty big, the size of a dinner plate. You need to keep that in mind when you're trying to recover, because sometimes women, especially in Western cultures, can be really hard on ourselves because we haven't bounced back right away. We feel like we gotta go run errands in a few days, or we have to go on play dates in a week, but that's not necessarily going to serve you the best. So just prepare in advance that it's going to be a process, that you are healing from a mega thing and you've got a big wound. And with that, there's going to come a lot of changes. You're going to be flooded with hormones, your breasts are going to change, your milk is going to come in, and you might even feel like you got hit by a truck. I remember with my first baby, I felt like I got hit by a truck. I was just so exhausted after the birth. I had a 2nd-degree tear, I hemorrhaged, and I just felt weak. So give yourself some grace, prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. Second thing that you should do to prepare for a great postpartum experience is to prepare. I mean, obviously, but prepare ahead of time. Get your nest ready. I know that nesting is like a huge thing at the end of pregnancy, but you should be focused not just on like cleaning everything in the house, but also preparing your nest, your bed, your cozy place where you want to heal and bond with your baby. So make sure that you have everything ready, everything is accessible, and everything is fully stocked. This is going to help so much because you're not going to be able to get up and moving around as much or as best as you possibly can. So getting that all prepared ahead of time is going to help you feel even more prepared, and it's going to give you a better experience. Another thing that you can do to prepare ahead of time is to freeze meals or get meals ready ahead of time. So about a month, 2 months before the baby comes, I like to make meals on the weekends. I usually double batch them so I can make one for that day and I can stick one in the freezer. And then by the end of it all, I probably have between 10 to 12 meals. That's 10 to 12 meals I don't have to make when the baby comes, and that's going to save you so much time, so much energy, and so much stress, which is something that you definitely don't need when you are recovering from having a baby. If you're like me and you work from home or you homeschool, get some work done ahead of time. I like to take like the second trimester on, about week 20 on, to just double up on my work. Get systems in place, make sure that, if I have blog posts that I want to write, or if there's certain things, certain projects that I want to get done ahead of time, I slowly build up that so then I don't have to work when the baby comes. Now, the third thing that I really, really, really want you to do, and I really encourage you to do, it might be a little uncomfortable, is to demand support ahead of time. And I don't mean to sound like demanding, like be bossy, be a jerk, be moody about it, but really let your loved ones know, your spouse know, your supportive people in your life know that you're going to need help. You're going to need support. Because like I mentioned before, in our Western culture, we have this like idea that as soon as we have the baby, things go back to normal, and it doesn't. And we need to start accepting that. It doesn't, for a reason. I mean, we are healing from a very big thing. Remember this plate? We've got to heal from this. We've got to heal from whatever experience that we had in birth, whether it was a good experience or a bad experience or in between. Also, your hormones are going crazy, so you're going to have to change and adapt to that. So having a solid support system that knows this and is aware of this ahead of time is so crucial to having a great postpartum experience. But before you give birth, ask them, educate them, tell them what you're going to need. You're going to need help with cleaning the house. You're going to need help with, maybe bringing over meals or holding the baby while you take a shower. Your job is to rest and recover, and that is going to make your postpartum experience so much better if you can rest your body and you can recover and bond with your baby. So make sure that the people in your life know this, know it's important to you, so that you can have the best experience possible. Just keep in mind, at the end of the day, this isn't about other people. Other people are excited about your baby, and that's great. That's always a wonderful thing to have people in your life that love your baby as much as you do. But you don't owe it to them to have them come in your house and you have to put on a show or you have to play a host, because most of the time that's just it's not feasible. For me personally, I don't like it when people come over after I've had a baby. Like, I'm very introverted by nature. I need time to process what I've just been through. I need time to heal. I need time to figure out breastfeeding and bonding with my baby. And I don't need people coming in and out trying to hold the baby and give the baby gifts and feel like I have to be in my living room fully dressed and ready to entertain. So if you feel like that too, make sure you tell people ahead of time. Tell them your expectations. Tell them what you expect of them. And you don't have to be mean about it. It can be done in a very gentle manner. But this is more about you and your baby and not about the people. They can wait a week or two while you recover and rest. Tip number 4, to have the best postpartum experience possible is to gather supplies. Preparation is key. So gather your supplies ahead of time. Like I mentioned before, planning for the worst but hoping for the best. Some of my favorite supplies are just having extra pads on hand, extra sheets, extra towels, just extra supplies that you might need. One of my favorite things in postpartum is a Perineum Spray. Now this is an herbal spray, so it's very, very gentle, very natural, very cooling, because when you give birth to a baby, things change down there, and you don't want to be wiping, you don't want to be putting anything on it that could irritate it. So I love having a Perineum Spray, especially the herbal kind, because it really promotes healing. Another thing that I love is herbal baths. I have done an herbal bath with me and my baby after every birth, and this really helps promote healing. Now these can be used in like a sitz bath, or you can just brew a tea and pour it in your bath and just sit in the water, but it really helps you with relaxing. It's really a great de-stressor. It really helps you recover from birth. So make sure you gather your supplies, extra pads, extra medical, whatever they're called, pads that you can dispose, any kind of comfortable pajamas or any kind of thing that you might need. Get that done, out of the way, ready to go, so that you don't have to worry about it when it comes time to take care of yourself after you have a baby. Last but certainly not least, and this is probably the most important thing, is to listen to your body. Listen to what your body's telling you, not just your body physically, but how you're feeling emotionally, how you're feeling spiritually. Birth takes a huge toll on your hormones and your body, and the biggest thing, the biggest gift that you can give to yourself is to listen to your body. Listen to yourself, follow your instincts, and don't allow outside influences to pressure you into doing things that you're not ready for. For instance, having people over, or having people come to the hospital as soon as you have your baby. Maybe you don't want that. Listen to yourself. Don't feel like you have to go run errands the next day or be up and about and working out in a week, because you don't. And this can have a huge impact on how you feel mentally after you have a baby, especially if it's your first one, you've never done this before, you feel like you got to get back to normalcy really quick, and that's just not true. There are many cultures around the world where women are in bed for 30 days. And this is like a sacred time because their bodies are healing, they're bonding with their baby. People bring them food and take care of the house and take care of the other kids, and this is great. The one thing that just drives me crazy about Western culture is that we feel like we gotta bounce back, we gotta get back to it as soon as possible, and that's just not ideal, and it's not serving women, and it's not gonna serve you. Listen to yourself, listen to your emotions, follow what you feel is best for you and your baby, and don't let any other people pressure you or guilt trip you or influence you to do something that you're just not ready for. Overall, if you want to have the greatest postpartum experience possible, just take care of yourself first and take care of your baby. This is such a sacred time, and it's so short-lived. I actually, even though you're in pain and you're bleeding and it's messy and it's just not very dignifying at times, I love the postpartum period because it's just so new. You really get to bond with your baby. You get to, snuggle your baby all the time, and it's such a special period that people often forget that. And just encourage you to use everything that I just gave you to start thinking about how you want your postpartum experience to go. Do you want certain things done? Do you want to prepare a certain way? This is a sacred time, and it should be an enjoyable time, even though it might be a rough time and it might be emotional and hormones might be going crazy and haywire. This should also be a very memorable time for you, and I wish you all the best. All right, well, that's all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you found at least one of these tips helpful, and it can help prepare you for a better postpartum experience. If you like this video, or even if it was a little bit helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you want to receive more tips on pregnancy and motherhood and ways to simplify motherhood, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you'll be the first to know whenever I share new content. Thanks so much. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.